cloud. Yeah, I started the recording. Yeah, sometimes I forget to do that. But it happens. Let me go ahead. So again, we're on Mastermind number 83. Again, I'll just go over for the recording's sake. We are on again Mastermind number 83, page 169. To-dos of getting started, like Robert Kiyosaki. Today we're talking about real estate zoning and news, and then we're talking about cryptocurrency. What exactly zero confirmations are. We're looking at what exactly these market updates are. You may be wondering why exactly this is important to you. Maybe you got dreams. Maybe you want time freedom, locational freedom. Maybe you just want to make a little bit more money every month. Or maybe you want to be a millionaire. I don't know what exactly it is, but having a good relationship with money will help you in a lot of those cases. So we're on getting started now, and we're talking about making lots of offers. So a friend wanted me to show her how to buy apartment houses. So one Saturday, she, her agent, and I went and looked at 6 apartment houses. Whole 6. Wow. 4 were dogs, but 2 were good. I said to write offers on all 6, offering half of what the owners asked for. She and the agent nearly had heart attacks. They thought it was rude and would offend the sellers. But I really don't think the agent wanted to work that hard. So they did nothing and went on looking for a better deal. No offers were ever made, and that person is still looking for the right deal at the right price. Well, you don't know what the right price is until you have a second party who wants a deal. Most sellers ask too much. It's rare that a seller asks a price that's less than something is worth. Moral of the story, make offers. People who are not investors have no idea what it feels like to try to sell something. I've had a piece of real estate that I wanted to sell for months. I would have welcomed any offer. They could have offered me 10 pigs and I would have been happy. Not at the offer, but just because someone was interested. I would have counted, maybe for a pig farm in exchange. But that's how the game works. The game of buying and selling is fun. Keep that in mind. It's fun and only a game. Make offers. Someone might say yes. I always make offers with escape clauses. In real estate, I make an offer with language that details subject to contingencies, such as the approval of a business partner. Never specify who the business partner is. Most people don't know that my business partner is my cat. Meow. If they accept the offer and I don't want the deal, I call home and speak to my cat. I make this ridiculous statement to illustrate how absurdly easy, I can't believe I just meowed actually, and simple the game is. So many people make things too difficult and take it too seriously. Finding a good deal, the right business, the right people, the right investors, or whatever it is, just like dating. You must go on the market and talk to a lot of people, make a lot of offers, counter offers, negotiate, reject, and accept. I know single people who sit at home and wait for the phone to ring. But it's better to go to the market, even if it's only the supermarket. Search, offer, reject, negotiate, and accept are all parts of the process of almost everything in life. Next, he talks about jogging, walking, or driving in a certain area once a month for 10 minutes. I've found some of my best real estate investments doing this. I'll jog in a certain neighborhood for a year and look for change. For there to be profit in a deal, there must be 2 elements: a bargain and change. There are lots of bargains, but it's change that turns a bargain into a profitable opportunity. So when I jog a neighborhood I might like to invest in. It's the repetition that causes me to notice slight differences. I notice real estate signs that are up for a long time. That means the seller might be more agreeable to deal. I watch for moving trucks going in or out. I stop and talk to the drivers. I talk to the postal carriers. It's amazing how much information they acquire about an area. I find a bad area, especially an area that the news has scared everyone away from. I drive it for sometimes a year, waiting for signs of something changing for the better. I talk to retailers, especially new ones, and find out why they're moving in. It takes only a few minutes a month, and I do it while doing something else, like exercising or going to and from the store. Shop for bargains in all markets. Consumers will always be poor. With when the supermarket has a sale, say on toilet paper, the consumer runs in and stocks up. But when the housing or stock market has a sale, most often called a crash or correction, the same consumer often runs away from it. When the supermarket supermarket raises its prices, the consumer shops somewhere else. But when housing or the stock market raise their prices, the same consumer often rushes in and starts buying, aka crypto bull market. Always remember, profits are made in the buying, not in the selling. Next, look in the right places. A neighbor bought a condominium for $100,000. I bought the identical condo next door for 50,000. He told me he's waiting for the price to go up. I told him that profit is made when you buy, not when you sell. He shopped with a real estate broker who owns no property of her own. I shopped at the foreclosure auction. I paid $500 for a class on how to do this. My neighbor thought that the $500 for a real estate investment class was too expensive. He said he couldn't afford the money or the time, so he waits for the price to go up. And I'll pause there for now, actually. Next is look for people who want to buy first, then look for someone who wants to sell. So you find the buyer first and then the seller. So what exactly is this guy saying here? Like, is he crazy or is he making sense? Now, look at it as you don't want to just follow blindly. When you really look at it, the guy's making a lot of sense, right? You may not agree 100% with it, but let's see what exactly he's looking for. Making a lot of offers. When he wants a piece of real estate, he looks at many of them. Then he gives the example of how somebody came to him for advice on how to buy apartment houses. He told them, look, do this. They came with their broker. He gave them the advice. Why on earth did you come to the guy then if you're not going to follow and learn from what exactly it is that he's doing? Well, they ended up doing nothing after that. But here's the thing. Uh, Actually, let's pause there. He looked at the properties. Four of them were dogs, so they were not so good properties that, well, fit his criteria. But then two of them were like, you could go ahead with these two. But he said to write offers on all six, offering half of what the owner asked for. And then she and the agent nearly had heart attacks. Like, wow, they thought it was rude and would offend the sellers. But I really don't think the agent wanted to work that hard. There's a part earlier in this book that talked about paying for good advice. You need to get a really good broker. Not all real estate agents are the same. And no offers were ever made. And that person, they're still looking for the right deal at the right price. My friend, that is created. Well, you don't know the right price, what the right price is, until you have a second party who wants to sell. So again, the moral of the story is talking about there is making a lot of offers. Then he talked about people who are not investors, or they have no idea what it's like to sell something. Many times you're looking at selling something, and there really is no interested party on the other end. There is no end buyer, right? You need a buyer in order to go ahead and make a sale. So he talks about this example of how he would have accepted 10 pigs just to have an offer. Maybe he would have come up with something else, a pig farm in exchange, and always including escape clauses, and so subject to. So you're doing this, it's subject to. Without this happening, I can't move forward with the sale. That's exactly what that's talking about. It can be anything, right? um his business partners, he uses the crazy example of that business partner being his cat. So it's like saying, hey, I want to buy this property, but it's subject to this happening, subject to that. So you have different clauses. In real estate, frequently that's maybe like an inspection, appraisal, XYZ. Maybe you see something, you want them to have this happening, and whatever that really looks like, depending on the deal. Finding that good deal, the right business, and the right people. It's just like dating. You got to go on the market and talk to a lot of people, make a lot of offers. Then he talks about how searching, offering, rejecting, negotiating, and accepting, they're all parts of processes in almost anything in life. Let's forget about real estate. Let's talk about friends, family, the things it is that you do, the results you want in life. You have to search, offer, reject, say some things you don't want. Negotiate on some things. Hey, I can do this. I'm not able to do this. Can we do this instead? Right? And accept. And oh, I like this. Let me accept this thing into my life. Then he talks about jogging, walking, driving in a certain area, once a month for 10 minutes. I remember when I was doing this, I would jog sometimes, but my thing was doing deliveries. So I used to do deliveries in different places. Not so much for the money, more so really to see what exactly is out there. So I'll go to an area, you do deliveries, and then you meet some really cool people and everything. You sit down in the stores, you see people spending habits, you see different areas, people come outside, you talk with them, right? you, there must be two elements in a bar in a profit in a deal: a bargain and the change. And there are lots of bargains, but it's change that turns a bargain into a profitable opportunity. And again, for there to be profit in any market, there needs to be change. There needs to be movement, right? That's what causes prices to change, etc., etc. So, talking about signs that have been up for a long time, if somebody's been trying to sell something for a long time, well, there's something why that deal hasn't been going through. Again, remember, they want to sell for a reason, and that's what he's talking about. So, go to them. They're a lot more negotiable on a deal, as opposed to somebody who at first they're like, well, I put up this sign tomorrow, I want this price that's, way more than probably what the property is worth. And then they're like, well, okay, so you want this price. Okay, I'll come back when it is that you're a lot more willing to come to the price that I'm at. You're not telling them that, but if they're signing up to yesterday, my friend, they already had the meeting and decided on a price. So when you wait, the seller becomes a lot more motivated to sell. So you look for shop for bargains in all markets. Consumers will always be poor. You need to get out of the idea of being a consumer, being an owner, right? Being the person that's not on the consumer side. Then he talked about when, stuff that's on Walmart or wherever that's for sale, products that you may need, well, you need to use. But when stocks and the housing market has a sale, people call it a crash. They don't run to it, but they run to Walmart when there's stuff for toilet paper. It's just a change in terms of mentality, in terms of how we approach things. And once you understand this, when it talks about, oh, and people always say this, whoa, I hear that crypto market is down, man. I hear that the stock market crashed. Like, yes, lots of stuff is on sale. Most people look at them, they say, oh, it's a crash or a correction. Things are on sale, right? It's just like now with all the bad news in real estate. Lots of stuff is gonna be on sale, and lots of stuff is already on sale, right? And so same thing with the housing market, stock prices, market raise their prices. The same consumer often rushes in and they start buying. Again, profits are made in the buying and not in the selling. Then Kiyosaki talked about looking in the right kind of places. How exactly he paid $500 for this real estate investment class, and he ended up buying the property for $50,000 that somebody else bought for $100,000. Identical. So, well, maybe not identical. Oh yeah, it is identical. Next door to him, and he paid half the price for it. He invested in himself, and he was able to find these kinds of deals, as opposed to the other person who thought $500, my friend, was too expensive for me to pay for that. Right? You must invest in yourself. There's a real estate summit happening in Canada. What was it? Within 2 weeks or so, lots of real estate investors are going to be there. If you're interested in real estate, strongly recommend it is that you go. And then the next he talked about looking for people who want to buy first. So lots of different lessons there we're seeing there from Kiyosaki. I mean, you can take it, leave it. The guy, he has his results. So some people agree with him, some people don't. For those who want to have a better relationship with money, then you'll see some value in some of the things it is that he talks about. So that's that for Rich Dad Poor Dad. And so let me jump ahead to the next thing now. We're talking about real estate. What exactly are we talking about in real estate, though? We are talking about understanding zoning in real estate. So this is quite the topic, and we're seeing a lot of different things that are going to be happening with this. But simply put, zoning is really in place just to make sure that certain things are, we needed to organize a city and more. That's really at that level. So municipal or local laws or regulations that govern how real property can and cannot be used in certain geographic areas. You need some kind of order, right? You can't just have this here, that here, and it all looks like one big mess. For example, zoning laws can limit commercial or industrial use of land to prevent oil, manufacturing, or other types of businesses from building in residential neighborhoods. So they're in place for a reason, right? Nobody's out to get you. If anything, you're paying tax dollars to live somewhere uh, for some reason. You need to be confident that the zoning is in place, so it is that one day something doesn't crazy just happens to your house because of improper zoning that maybe was in place before for some reason. So zoning allows local governments to regulate which areas under their jurisdiction may have real estate or land used for particular purposes. Examples of zoning classifications include residential, commercial, agricultural, industrial, or hotel and hospitality, among other more specific designations. Zoning laws can be changed by a local government as long as they fall within state and federal statutes, and a particular plot of land may be rezoned based on consideration. So, what exactly are we seeing there? Simply put, and it goes into it. There's the economic theory about it. There's critiques on zoning law, special considerations. The one thing I'll say is if you're getting something, maybe you need something rezoned, bear in mind your property assessment, and bear in mind that it takes time. A group of people literally have to sit down and say, I'm going to approve this, I'm not going to approve that can happen, this needs to happen before this gets rezoned, etc., etc., etc. So, and that takes time, months actually, and it may not be the smoothest process. So, keep that in mind as it is that you go ahead and you do that. There are people who understand these things specifically, though. So there's zoning, right? And it's not just about, industrial, commercial, residential. Maybe an area is more for residential use. A lot more people are living there. Maybe an area is for industrial, it's for factories and more. We can't just have I want to build a house in the middle of all of these factories. Well, these are all the chemicals that are being used. This is potentially what could happen, and this is actually hazardous to you. So maybe not the best idea, or there's this plot of land, etc., etc. So there are a lot of different things to consider, and you can understand the basis of what exactly zoning is. In the real estate news here, what exactly are we looking at? This week's top stories: Eastern Canada making headlines, frothy home prices, and TD's money laundering problem. So let's click on this here and see what exactly we are looking at. So first thing, bubble contagion. Eastern Canada home prices retain the frothiest growth. Canadian real estate prices surged after rate cuts in 2020 and began correcting after rate hikes in 2022. Eastern Canada, where home prices saw the sharpest growth, did not follow the same trajectory though. Even post-correction, only a minimal correction was observed in Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and PEI. The gap between prices in these provinces and more expensive regions is narrowing despite a wide gap in amenities, potentially signaling a phenomenon known as bubble contagion. This is when frothy valuations from one region push further and further out, skewing the value of other regions as people flee. And so we're seeing where a lot more people fled from, well, let me not say fled, that sounds kind of crazy, left other places to come to Eastern Canada. And you're seeing Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and PEI had some of the cheapest home prices in Canada. And, what did you see? So they're saying that other places, home prices went up after 2020. Then you saw a sharp correction. But in Eastern Canada, home prices went up, but the correction wasn't that much. So the increase was there. And when we're talking about correction on a graph, you see where the sharp change wasn't that much in terms of after they went up. They didn't drop that significantly after that. And they're saying that this is maybe bubble contagion. TD may face US $2 billion money laundering fine, third largest ever. More information on that in the article. They talked about this a little bit last week. Canadian study permit applications surge in 2024. Enough for 36% of the cap. So Canada has a cap on how many study permits they're actually going ahead and approving, and 36% is already enough. And we're just in the second quarter. Okay, that's decent. September is just around the corner when most people still apply. Toronto office spaces hits record vacancy rate. Availability surges downtown. So office vacancy rate for GTA reached 30.7 in Q1 2024. Simply put, you go into all the numbers. Simply put, a lot less people are utilizing office spaces, and the vacancy rate has now gone way up. So there's a lot of vacancy. That's one metric you're considering when you're looking at, am I buying commercial real estate? Canadian business insolvencies surged 87% higher in Q1. People are going insolvent. People are going insolvent. That is not good. I'm really sorry to hear that. Canadian business insolvencies are climbing at an unusually fast rate. Insolvency filings with the Office of the Superintendent of Bankruptcy climbed 87% in Q1 2024 from last year. Wow, that's very, very sad. That's very, very sad. And look at this. Experts warn the issue is even worse since most businesses experiencing rough patches shutter instead of seeking formal debt restructuring. So they close as opposed to seeing how they can restructure their debt. Now, don't forget, the store it is that you may be going to buy things, there's a great possibility that that person maybe acquired the business and hasn't fully paid off. So when you look at a business and think they're making all of this money, a lot of that profit is actually going back into covering debt. So we're seeing, Eastern Canada's frothy home prices. So if you had property in Eastern Canada, the increase that you would have seen in comparison, for example, another place in Canada, you saw the increase. Home prices are correcting in other places, but in Eastern Canada, there's not great of a correction. So, um, I mean, that may be good news, that may be bad news. However, you want to take that based on your own specific situation. So, that's what we're seeing in real estate news. Now, let's look at the other side of the spectrum, where it's not real estate, but when corrections are happening, like in double digits, like so the cryptocurrency market. Again, today we're seeing $2.3 trillion in the market. Again, Bitcoin is the dominant cryptocurrency. That probably will be the case for a long time. Has been the case. 53.9% of that money is in Bitcoin. 15.4% of that 2.3 trillion is in Ethereum. And today, what are we seeing? BTC price at 62,776. Just a 1% change there from last week. Ethereum is down 4%. Solana is down 5%. Toncoin is up 20%. This thing has been going crazy the past couple of weeks. And I think I have an idea as to one of the big reasons why. Oh, oops, I went back. Let me duplicate this thing. Okay, let's look at Toncoin since I'm on here now. Anyway, I want to look at the chart for this thing, for Toncoin. Loads. So 1.25% on the day, all time. See, this is what I'm talking about. Look at this huge spike. It was all the way down here. This thing is basically at its all-time high. Again, this is what Kiyosaki is talking about, right? This is when you don't want to buy. I mean, depending on your strategy, but look at this change within the past. Let's look at the change within the past year. It was at $2. So if you bought a year ago, it was at $2. Now it's at $7. So you would have seen almost a 3x on whatever it is that you would have had in. Definitely a 2x on what it is that you would have had in. Over the most of that increase was over the past like month or so. Not month, maybe 2 months. So let me see. Last year, March, April. So roughly around like April or so, the price was still at like $5. And then the price went all the way up to $7. So over the last year, Toncoin has gone crazy. We call that a parabolic increase. So that's what we're seeing there for Toncoin. So the biggest winner so far there is Toncoin. What do I mean by a winner? That's the cryptocurrency so far that had the largest price increase over the past 7 days. Let's see. Avalanche is up 12.9%, down 12.9%. So layer one protocol, that's down. And again, how do people make money? It's on these basic changes, right? You see something's down, you buy. You look at the chart, it's down. Okay, let me buy it. You be patient. Pepe is up 14%. Look at this funny meme thing. This thing on this and all these names are so weird too. Okay, stay focused. Cosmos is down -9%. Dog Whiff Hat is down 11%. These things have such weird names. I always love looking at these names. Optimism is down 10%, so we're not so optimistic on it right now. Down 10%. Bit and Soar is down 19%. So if we're applying what Kiyosaki is talking about here, you want to buy the stuff that's in the red right now, not the stuff that's in the green, right? That's what you want to do. Core is down 14%. Akash is up 12%. Athena is down 12%, 16%, sorry. Let's go. Wormhole is down 15. Like who on earth named something wormhole? Like and this project has like millions of dollars in it. More than tens of millions of dollars. Synthetics is down 13%. Let's go on page 2 now. And let's see what we're looking at. Not much change there on anything there so far. 17 down Nervous. Pith Network is down 22. People, you wait years to see double digit like increases or drops in real estate prices. You see this on a 7-day period. You need change and fluctuation in a market in order to make money, right? Life Pair is up 14%. Echelon Prime is down 23%. So if you bought something this, and if you want to do a basic thing, right? Again, big myth. You need a lot of money to get started in cryptocurrency. You can buy $5 worth of a cryptocurrency on an exchange, literally, right? You maybe allocate $50. You know, if you wanted a basic way of getting started, you can do this. It's very simple. You know, you take $50 and just buy like the top 10 cryptocurrencies, top 20 or something like that, and just leave them. Just leave them. Investing is 10% action, 90% just waiting and being patient, right? Because you bought with a certain kind of intention. Let's keep scrolling. Let's keep scrolling. Yeah, nothing else that's crazy in the next 100 to 200. SSV is down 17. Telor is up 38. So we have something that's beat Toncoin. Telor is up 38%. Altlayer is down 19%. So what is this again? That's at 38%. Telor, TRB. I need to check that. Make a sale. Illuvium is down 16%. Okay, so we have our biggest winner there so far. Oh no, UMA is up 46%. 46% in 7 days. Jeez, this is even like a huge bull market. Remember the other day, you know, close to the halving when everything was just going crazy. Everything was just going crazy. Green, 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 green. You wake up, oh, easy, print money, green, sell money. It was so easy, right? And so, but the thing is, the people who were making the money are the people who bought when things were down, right? When you look on because you'll see this, but when you look at a chart over the past like year, is when it is that you really want to look at to see, you know, who's really been making money. So let's talk about this definition now. Zero confirmation. What is a zero confirmation or unconfirmed transaction? This may be a little bit if you don't fully understand how exactly, you know, blockchain works and how transactions work. I'll keep it this simple before I go into the explanation. So when you do a transaction and you send your money from maybe one bank to another bank, there are a lot of different things that happen on the back end, but a centralized system, you know, it's the two banks and their security systems that they do all of that. Or for example, you send money via Western Union to somebody to somewhere else. There, you pay a fee for the transaction to the business. In cryptocurrency, you're not paying a specific transaction fee to a particular business. Well, you kind of are, but it's different the way it happens. It happens in a blockchain way. So let's talk a little bit about what exactly that is. But from a basic understanding standpoint, what exactly this zero confirmation thing is, we're looking at, hey, party A sent money to party B. You in a blockchain, you need a certain number of transactions, a certain number of confirmations, in order to get to the point where, okay, the transaction is now confirmed and it has been sent, right? So zero confirmation or confirmed transaction is defined as an exchange that has not yet been recorded or verified on the blockchain. So maybe the confirmation happened, but it hasn't been recorded yet on the blockchain. To understand in context, it's worth recalling a few basic principles of blockchain technology. A blockchain is a distributed ledger composed of an ongoing sequence of blocks. If this is your first time, this may be a little bit for you. A blockchain is maintained by a network of distributed nodes that arrive at a consensus about the integrity of the data recorded on this common ledger. So all of us are saying, yeah, man, this person sent that transaction here. Them have enough money, right? This person sent the transaction and they have enough money in their wallet to go ahead and send. Any bad actors that intend to manipulate the blockchain would have to control over at least 51% of the computing power of the entire network in order to sabotage its integrity. So a little bit of cryptocurrency education there, rather blockchain education. And again, I haven't brought this up in a little bit, but again, a reminder, these are some of the companies that are actually utilizing blockchain technology. You're looking at in banking and finance, HSBC, Visa, healthcare, Pfizer is using it. Travel, you're seeing where Delta Airlines has been utilizing it, or they're at least testing out different things. In the energy sector, Shell is using it, right? Many different well-known companies are utilizing this. In real estate, Coldwell Banker is using this, right? So you're seeing lots of different things, lots of different really reputable companies that are utilizing this technology. And here you're seeing a basic understanding of what exactly this blockchain thing is, right? So you're getting educated on what exactly the future is. AI is like really, really big, makes life a lot simpler for the end user in a lot of cases. So many people know about that, but blockchain is really, I'm not going to say that it's maybe right up there, but it's there in terms of trends for the future. After sending the data to the blockchain, users must wait for one of the nodes that maintain the network to register and then verify the data before adding it to a block. A zero confirmation transaction refers to a transaction that has not yet been confirmed on the blockchain and as such is not yet part of the blockchain. So that's what, and there's an further explanation as to what exactly it is. But there you got a little bit of a basic understanding as to how exactly a blockchain works, what exactly a confirmation is, and what exactly is zero confirmation in this blockchain. So again, in the crypto market, we talked about zero confirmation. With regards to Bitcoin, now we're seeing where price is 62,000. You look at again, you want to zoom out for the best picture as to what exactly has been happening. So you want to look at a yearly chart. Yeah, let's do that for a little bit actually. Yearly chart and all time in terms of what's been happening. So again, Rich Dad Poor Dad, we talked a little bit more about things to do with regard. While that loads, let me just bring that up as I recap. Looking in the right places, right? Investing yourself, looking in the right places for the right kinds of deals. Shopping for bargains in all markets. There's always some bargains somewhere, right? In the stock market, in the real estate market, in the crypto market, when people are selling businesses, there are bargains everywhere. Now it's nobody's gonna come to you and say, "Hey, I have a bargain." That's where you learn how to, sort out those kinds of things, negotiating, finding good deals, motivated sellers, so creating good deals. Jogging, walking, or driving in a certain area once a month for 10 minutes. Finding a good deal, the right business, the right kinds of people. That's a whole other thing. Searching, offering, rejecting, negotiating, and accepting are not just business terminologies, but if you want to have your life a certain kind of way, you'll have to say no to things. You'll have to search for things. You may find things you don't like. You'll have to reject some things. You'll have to negotiate some things. And, the things you like, you want to accept some things. Make lots of offers, include escape clauses, make lots of offers. Go ahead. He offered somebody like half the price of whatever everybody else was offering. Look, what's the worst case scenario? You hear no? Okay. Then it's a no, it's just a no, and that's what it is. Real estate, we saw where it is that in Canadian real estate, Eastern Canada took the headlines with different things. Here we saw sharp increases from 2020 when mortgage rates were lower. We saw sharp corrections fairly in other parts in Canada, but Eastern Canada. So it's still what they would call it to be a bubble contagion. So simply put, the prices are still, higher than, let me not say most other places, but higher than the percentage change. Well, the percentage changes that you would have seen in other places for a correction, the percentage changes a lot less in Eastern Canada, in places obviously PEI, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia. And that may be the case for a while, Let's see. Let's see what's going on. So it's like that has spread from other places in Canada. And to be fair, East Canada has had, lower home prices for a long time. So if you've been holding in Eastern Canada for a long time, then you are a happy person when you look at, certain of your metrics. TD may face 2 billion money laundering fine. We see developments there on that. That's an ongoing thing. I know it's key thing, may. It's not like a confirmed thing. This may be happening. And then we talked about what exactly zero confirmation is in cryptocurrency and blockchain. And we're looking at the Bitcoin chart. Again, this thing started at just 5 cents. People who they just became literal millionaires from, holding on to this. Is that a way of getting, rich or having a lot of money in a shorter period of time? Well, it worked for some people. Right. This was again, over 10 years ago. In 10 years from now, do we know if Bitcoin's going to be around? Do we know what the price of it's going to be? I'm not the person to answer that question and tell you yes. However, what we can look at and we can say is that it's a market that's experienced a lot of volatility, a lot of growth. Many companies have been utilizing blockchain technology. You just never know. So, you have to play the game in order to win. And to make some profit. Scared money makes no money. So people have been making money in the cryptocurrency market and they've been getting results. So that's what we're seeing there for today. I'm going to pause there for now. See you again next week there, everybody. I'm going to stop the live and I'm only now on Zoom. So let's stop and let me also stop the